This video is sniping positions for Frontline's World of Tanks. This is Epic Normandy map. So the first position is if you are defending, and what you can do is you can knock this tree down and you can hit the tanks as they're crossing over this bridge. From the far in the distance, you can shoot from the other side, but this building blocks you. So from here, you can hit them even when they're behind this building. They cross the bridge, and then they come over here. They try to climb up to objective 3, or they appear over here. So you got a lot of shots over here. You can also defend objective 4. It's going to be a lot closer. You can be a little bit hull down. And you got a view over here if the enemy is heading to try and flank for cap F. So this is one of those positions that's really good if the enemy has already capped E and is in the process of capping F. This is a position that I mentioned a long time ago. You can snipe on objective 2. I'm on the defending team. But you got clear shots. Look at where I am on the minimap, and you can hit objective 2. So basically, if you destroy objective 3, you basically come down the hill, you hang a right, and you sit over here, and you shoot at it. The artillery can hit you. The enemy, in order to snipe at you, they have to literally come next to you, and they have to climb the hill. So you've got really good protection over here. This is a position where I was shooting through this building somehow. You see, I damaged that guy, and they were shooting back at me and damaging me. Really didn't pay close attention to how I shot through the building. This is showing how you can, from this position, you've got clear shots of tanks that are climbing up to go from D into E. I'm going to show you another position later from the rails where you can basically do the same thing as they're kind of on their way down. This guy here sat here for almost the entire game, either hull down or side scraping. Look at where he is on C. The C cap is right on the other side here, and he was basically killing all the tanks that are trying to attack. He's on the defending team as they're coming up over this area. What happened here is I'm clearly on the cap, and we did not get overtime. So this is me trying that position that the other guy was in. You see that it's hull down over here, side scraping, etc. And I happen to also have the same tank. So you've got clear shots on tanks over here, plus you can reposition to here. What I do is I knock this tree down, because if you knock this tree down and you're unspotted, you can sneak out here, spot tanks, shoot at them, etc. And you got shots on tanks over here. I've been doing it, absolutely works. You got to knock the tree down perfectly. What I did over here is for cap A, I basically drove, I'm on the attacking team, and I drove all the way to the back, and I started shooting the defenders from behind. They don't like it when you do that. You really got to be careful. I've shown that on B it's very easy to do. On A, you can definitely do it. On C, it's a little bit more difficult. We're going to see more of the rear flanking. So this is rear flanking. This is a position that I showed before. There's a gap. If tanks cross over here, which they do, you get one shot at them. If they cross over here, you get a little bit more time to shoot at them, but there is a gap that you can shoot at tanks over here. I like playing, when I'm defending, basically sitting here at D, because the enemy tanks are coming at me. I don't want to have to go looking for them. So I basically park over here with strong frontal armor on a tank destroyer, and I just keep nailing them. This is a great position. I've talked about this before. Not only have I had a lot of great games here, but my allies are starting to play. I'm seeing a lot of allies taking up this position. We get great shots on enemy tanks. Whether you're attacking or defending, you can play this position. They're no longer safe over here, and it makes it very easy for your allies to come around and flank. But you do have to be careful. If you kill these tanks, they know you're here, they're going to respawn, and they're going to come looking for you. So you can see there's lots of opportunities, and there's lots of different ways you could play this out. Basically, from the soccer field to the bridge to these rocks over here, this general area, you go back and forth between these areas, and you've got lots of places. We've got lots of hull down position. You can see here, I'm on the attacking team, and these are the defenders. Look at the mini map, how as an attacker I came around the rear flank. Look at those shots, clear shots on the enemy. This is obviously more of a hull down position. I repositioned. This is the same position, and I'm showing how you can shoot across. There's a tank right there. He just disappeared. I did damage him. He's climbing the ramp to go objective 3. So the entrance to climb that ramp is right here. You can hit those tanks. You can watch the tanks after they cross the 3 bridge into town. So you can shoot across. That's another view. Here's another view, perhaps this is from the same position. So you got clear shots. So you've got shots all over the place. Very powerful position. This is repositioned. I'm on the defending team, and you can see that I'm shooting at the enemy as they are approaching. They can get to a low point where you can't hit them for a little bit. This is a bridge. Look at where it is on the mini-map. I'm sorry, this is a sniping position. I think it's pretty useless. I haven't found any reason to be up here. I played it a couple of times. If you do get a shot, you're going to shoot the tank, you reload, and by the time you reload, he's gone. Look at this position. Look at how I'm hitting this tank. Look at where he is. He is 519 meters away. He's at my range. He's right south of Cap E up in the hill. And look at where I am. Look at that. I'm so far away from him. I just spawned in. I said, oh, look, I can shoot those tanks. And as you get closer, this is a closer position. You'll notice you get a better view as you move closer. So if you've got a weakly armored tank and you want to snipe from a distance on E, this is one of the positions you can use. What I discovered near the soccer field is there's a gap where you can shoot through the buildings. You can see this Progetto is about to cross the 3 bridge. And you can also hit tanks that are crossing the 4 bridge. So if the enemy caps E and the enemy caps F and they're starting to advance north, this is one of the positions that you can play in order to defend. That's a view. A lot of tanks are starting to go back and forth between D and E. Like you'll be in E and all of a sudden you'll realize, wait a second, 5 enemy tanks just left E to go into D. This is how they come through this gap over here. You don't have to be at the gap. You can snipe the gap entranceway. So if you suspect that enemy tanks are going to go through this gap between D and E, you can snipe them from here. What I'm doing here, the enemy is attacking. They capped E. They moved north. I came around from D, came through the gap, and I came here to shoot them in the rear. This is a scouting position. This is the only position like it on the entirety of the map. There's lots of objects over here. So what you can do is just drive around, go through, drive circles over here, drive circles over here, and you'll spot everything, but it's difficult for the enemy to shoot at you because of all the objects in the way. So this is a good active spotting position. If you want to do active spotting around objective 1, come out over here, pick where you want to be. So for example, in this case, I'm playing on the south. If you're defending, you're going to scout on the north, and you'll be pretty safe. What's going on here, if you're going to snipe objective 2, you want to get behind this building where the P-44 Pantera is and hit objective 2 on the side. However, if you can't penetrate, you rush over here. I just barely made it, and the Scorpion out in the distance killed me. But then what you would do is you come over here with your lower penetration rounds and you hit objective 2 in the rear. Basically, what most people do is what the T-28 is doing. They're coming around to flank this tank. But the problem is, if you do that, there's a good chance he's going to go after you. If you come the way I'm coming, you can take shots at him with an autoloader or a derp gun or whatever, and you can run away and get away. So it's easier to escape if you come on this route. The route that this guy is taking is a little bit more difficult. You're more likely to get a one-on-one engagement if you take that route. This is objective 2. We've talked about this before. I'm doing it from further away, a little bit over the slope. You can probably do it from further away. You know, in the heat of the moment, I just showed up. I didn't try getting far enough away. In the future, I'm going to try going further away. The further away you are, the safer it is for you because of the slope. They have to get closer to you in order to return fire. This is a position we've talked about when you're defending B. You drive down over here, you come over here, you got side shots with your lower pen rounds on all these tanks as they're slowly getting into B. Basically, I'm looking for a position from here. If the enemy caps E and they're heading to town, where you can get side shots over here and then reposition and get more side shots and continue repositioning. This is what it looks like. Unfortunately, I haven't confirmed if that position is worth it. What I did here is we're attacking B. I came around with the Progetto. I unloaded my clip on all these things. You got open shots, and look at this, 26 seconds. I reloaded in order to do it again. These tanks did nothing to me. I still have full health. So you can come and get the rear flank on tanks defending B. And you're going to see that after I died, my ally who was down here, he came up the WZ-132, and he did the same thing. So that's a great way to put pressure on the defenders for B. What I'm doing here is I'm about to spawn in. The enemy is coming up through here, and I'm checking to see if I can get shots on their rear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn in, I'm going to come around this way, come up this way, and then shoot at them from behind from this position. This is Cap D. You'll see, look on the minimap, and you'll notice that there's enemy tanks up through the smoke. And there's all these walls over here so that they can't shoot back at you. Well, guess what? There's a gap through the walls. So you can actually shoot at the tanks that are up there on that level. So if you're capping D and you want to snipe at those tanks up there, move to this position, shoot at them. They might not know that you're there. They might not shoot back at you. This is a position that you can use to shoot at Objective 4. Objective 4 is right here. It's already been destroyed. But you can also, a lot of tanks are playing this position. I come here, sometimes I see 3 or 4 tanks playing this position. You can also shoot at tanks way down the road. Look at how far that defender is. He's 480 meters, and the Scorpion is halfway. So you can shoot at the tanks all the way down this road and at Objective 4. From this position. It's a really good position. And as we're going to show you, you can turn around and you can shoot at tanks that are up here defending in this area as I'm pointing to on the mini-map. From this position on Objective 4, if the enemy is climbing into Objective 3, you get one shot to hit them. Once they pass this column, this wall is going to prevent you from shooting at them. So you do have a chance. You might think you can't, but you get one shot to hit them. This is B. You can either cap B by going where the IS-3A and the M4A1 is, or you can go through this gap over here and come around to where that tank is, or you can go where this tree is. See where that tree is? Look at what you can do. You can climb up. The tree is right over here. You can climb up and get onto Cap B. So there's a third way to get onto Cap B. These bushes, I was sniping at Objective 1, I died, and I saw these bushes over here. It's like, oh, look at that. You can snipe Objective 1 from these bushes. What I usually do is I head for these 3 buildings on the mini-map, go between the buildings, come up over here, hit Objective 1. What most people do is they come on the other side and they try to hit at what the M41 Bulldog is trying to do, but the enemy expects you to come that way, so they're defending. They're less likely to defend if you come this way. Well, now you got another way. You come around here, you hide in these bushes, you snipe at Objective 1. There's a chance that you won't get spotted if you come this way. The other thing you could do is where I'm pointing on the mini-map, you can hit Objective 1, as I've shown in previous videos. This is the UDIS. Look at that, hull down UDIS sniping at the repair facility within my spotting range. After the enemy caps F, if you have an UDIS, you can fall back near the soccer field into this position. This is a sniping position. You come up here with a high pen tank, perhaps with weak armor like an Udis, and you can hit all the tanks over here and anybody that tries to come around the flank. This is the view of what it looks like. The enemy tanks will come up over here, they pass behind here, they drive along this way. This is the area where if you're going to defend Cap B, where all of your allies are going to drive over here behind this building in order to get onto Cap B. This is what it looks like, so you can shoot anyone that tries to come around this way. And that's another view of what it looks like. There are some buildings in the way, but you can cover that flank. What I did here, Cap E, we're attacking, he's defending. I came around to Cap E, came around this way, came around this way, came around this way, started shooting at him and his allies in the rear. And you can get behind all these buildings and keep on harassing them. And they're all out in the open. Now I did it with D. We're defending D, but what I did was I snuck all the way down here to the bottom, so anybody that tries to get onto Cap D, I'm going to shoot at them while they're trying to Cap D or while they're trying to approach Cap D. You move over to this side, you got more of a view of Cap D, and yes, you can definitely hit Cap D. This is the position I was telling you about where you get in those little bushes, you can snipe at Cap 1. This is a position I mentioned earlier about sniping at the defender or at objective 4, and you can turn around and hit tanks. So I'm attacking. These are defenders up on that position over there. So be aware that you can shoot in both directions. Basically, if you're playing in this position near the soccer field and you're sniping these defenders, when they respawn like this T-92 did, he came after me and I ran away because, you know, I've got really good situational awareness. I watch out. I knew he was coming and I just took off. But I thought he was going to come after me, but what happened was he realized it was a good position, so he started shooting at my allies. So be aware, if you kill somebody, they're going to respawn and come looking for you. This is, if you're going to shoot at objective 2, there's a little bush you can hide in. You might become unspotted if you sit in this bush. I don't know. I really can't tell you for fact if it will. It used to be you could, but now that they changed the spotting mechanics and the gun can spot you, it might be possible that you might be spotted if you try this. This is a position I was telling you earlier about how I was about to spawn in and come down and shoot them for the rear. I'm just showing you what it would look like, what kind of view you have. Obviously, these are my allies, but you could come up over here and you've got clear shots on this area. This is a very important sniping position. If you're defending F, you really got to be in this position. You'll get shots on all of these tanks. You usually will need a high penetration gun. But learn this position. This is a position I found. There's a rock, a tree, some slopes. There's a rock over here where this tree is. You can't see it, but it's a hull down position. So you've got a hull down position. You've got a place where you could hide behind a bush. This is hull down and with a bush and in the water. And you've got views of tanks that are approaching F. So this is a position you might want to consider if you've got really strong armor and you want to be a little adventurous. This is a tank that had a bad game. So over here we've got another hull down position. That's an enemy tank. We're on C and they pinned us down on the beach. That's how he looks hull down. This is his view. So he's basically right over here. He's making it difficult for my allies to enter Cap C. But if you notice, my ally, the LT-432, shot him on the side. You know, we have trouble penetrating his turret, but this LT-432, you can see Mr. Sam Lockhart, LT-432, destroyed Centurion 5/1. Good job, Sam Lockhart. So this is a position. Look at where I am. On objective 3, there's a sniping position. He's not at objective 3. Look at, I'm pointing at his position on the minimap. There's a ramp to go up to objective 3. and you come around the corner and you continue up the ramp and you're at that sniping position and you can shoot at tanks out over here. If you're in this position, you can shoot back at them. So if they're defending over there and you happen to be in the area and you happen to see a tank there, I actually did kill him. This is me killing him. You can go to this position and you can shoot at them. And you notice he did not do any damage to me. So that's a position to counter that sniping position. This is a great position. You're so glad you watched this video. Look at where I am on the mini-map. You're going to look at this and say, that's what's special about this? This is so awesome. Look at all the tanks that I got to shoot at. It was just a never-ending stream of tanks because the enemy, after they cap F, they come up through here to go to objective 4. You got bushes. I moved a little closer so I could spot them. You can hit them on the upper level. And you could be over here, you could side scrape, you got another little bush, you could do it from far away. So you will have a never-ending stream of side armor that you can shoot at from this position. And if you move forward, you can kind of cover the 3 bridge also. So that's a position you're going to want to know. If you happen to be in the area, don't rush to objective 4. If you see that the enemy's coming over, just come down and sit over here and park through this big open area. This is a position, if the enemy caps B, some of them are going to go this way, some of them are going to go to A. What they do is they come around the hill, they go to A, they take some shots, and then they retreat, and they're going to stay as close to the hill. He is as close to the hill as possible. Guess what? I can hit him. He's at 554 meters. Look at where he is on the mini-map. This is the position where he goes around and comes back and goes around, comes back to reload. From here, I can hit him and all of his friends that head into E and anyone that crosses through this little gap. So this is a position you might want to consider. Now, we talked about this earlier. When the enemy caps D and they're going into E, or if they do the reverse, go from E into D, you can sit up in this position on the mini-map and shoot all these tanks over here, or you can come over here to the rails and you've got clear shots on most of the tanks in this area. Here's an example. He's cresting the hill. Here's another example. This building will be in the way for some of the shots, but as you can see, there are clear shots over here, and especially if they come down. This is another shot of the repair facility, a hull down position. This means that when they cap F, you have to leave the zone. You come north of the soccer facility, they're all going to come to the repair facility. You have shots on them. They're going to try to keep on going. Maybe if the problem you're going to have is a fast tank is going to come around the soccer field and try and get behind you. If you got an ally with you, one guy defends this way, one guy defends that way. This is an example of being at the bridge. You can see that he's attacking. He's coming around the flank. They're overwhelming my defenders on cap F. You kind of want to be to the right on the bridge here. The reason why is because the bridge is a high point, and as you go to the right, it comes down, and I think if you go to the left, it goes down. So this is a point where you can shoot across and fall back to be a little bit hull down, a little bit safer while you're reloading or if you're under attack. Now, I spoke in other videos about how you set up over here at the train. When the enemy caps C, you set up at the train, you snipe at them, you fall back to where the progetto is, you snipe at them, you fall back to here, you got a little bush and some rocks, you snipe at them. Once you get spotted, you reverse down over here, and then you climb up over here and you go to where the bridge is, the back of the bridge. I've shown it in previous videos, and then that's your final fallback position. I knocked down all the trees to shoot at the tanks that were crossing over here, headed to the repair facility. Unfortunately, in this game, it was not a lot of tanks. They didn't know I was here. They assume you're up on the upper level. A stupid tank came wandering through here, and I had to deal with him. You do have shots on tanks coming up on the east side, but that's just a position that I tried for your benefit. Okay, this is a position you didn't know about. You're crossing bridge 4. You see lots of red tanks over here. Guess what? You can shoot at them. You can shoot at tanks through the gaps of all these buildings. So if you see lots of red dots and you're crossing bridge 4 to objective 4, you just shoot through those buildings. I did do damage. The IS-3A, where I did an amazing 6 tracking damage, is directly in front of me. Was this the beginning? Yeah, okay. So we've rounded through all the positions. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. If you want to post about what a bad player I am and how bad my positions are, please post below. I'll talk to you later.